Welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show on 94.7 The Pulse. Music, interviews, news, and, well, Two Blokes Chatting. Now, here are the two blokes.
Hey, it's 6.5 minutes past 10 o'clock, and the word legend gets thrown around a bit, doesn't it? But I reckon from what you were telling me about the man we're about to talk to on the phone, here is a man who's a legend in Geelong cricket.
He is, and unusually too, because he couldn't play cricket. He was no bloody good at it, but he's still a legend of the game.
Oh, so we've got something in common there. None of us could play.
No, this on the back of what happened at the Geelong Cricket Club on Thursday night. I was thrilled to bits to be there and watch a joint training session between the women and the men. The girls are playing hopefully tomorrow because the men's has been called off. The inaugural Geelong Cricket Club entry into women's cricket in Premier Cricket, and the man who was, in my opinion, the architect of the success of the Geelong Cricket Club, long-time president David Kelly, was there, and the smile on his face was wider than the door into the rooms. David Kelly, good morning and welcome to the Two Blokes Chatting radio show.
Yes, and also good morning to you guys. And it was just a memorable night, Rob, and we're so glad that you were there too. Yeah,
it was really good. Very impressed to see that little, it seemed tokenistic, joint fielding session at the end of the evening, but it was very symbolic. 67 players I counted, men's and women's, together in a little fielding drill at the end of the day, and then I would say pretty well all of them came into the rooms after the game for some pre-season announcements. It was quite spectacular and good to see so many of your ilk and recently retired players there as well.
Rob, like what you're saying is just fantastic. I thought, like you, that last session on the ground, okay, and there was no discrimination between male or female. You didn't know, they are all in there together. And the way that the senior group and the male group have certainly embraced this concept, okay, and certainly at the club, and it's just fantastic. And to have, there must have been 6 or 8, maybe 10 even life members there from way back, and all so excited, particularly on the evening. Philip Marshall came up to me and he said, "Kel, how are you feeling?" He said, "This is one of the great nights. It's going to be a night, one of those events that you'll remember, you'll recall, you'll revisit, okay, on various occasions, because of just in that room. It's very hard for people who weren't in the room. It's very hard for people who weren't down there as a parent or a spectator watching training. But to see 67 uniformed Geelong Cricket Club representatives, male and female, being treated as one, okay, and treated as equals, was just absolutely fantastic. Their parents, some parents had travelled 3 hours, one from Charlton in particular, and this again just indicates and demonstrates that the Geelong Cricket Club is really the lighthouse for all aspiring cricketers now. It's now the pathway for the females to the baggy green. We have 6 male baggy green players, and hopefully in the next 5 years we can have at least 1 female baggy green player. It's just an exciting time again. It just generates great interest and excitement in people who have been there for all those milestones since 1993. Those that have been there prior to that with the hard yards they had to put in to ensure Geelong got a place in Premier Cricket. It wasn't easy. It was Bob Merriman type people who just didn't give up for decades, and now people over there with the best facilities available, maybe in the state, for Premier Cricket aspiring players, and also with great support. We have great sponsor support. We have great community support, and it's just a good story at the moment.
David, it's Neil here, and I recall probably 3 or 4 years ago, I was in an event in the President's Room at Cardinia Park, and we were looking out on the ground, and the AFL and AFLW squads did the same thing. And to me, that they used to talk about, because they had the VFL and VFLW as well, and they talked about one club, 4 teams. And I think, in my mind, the fact that Geelong is isolated geographically, does that help in terms of developing that, not us against them by any means, but one club, 2 streams, if you like, aspect to the club?
No. Yes. Look, I'm certainly just like I didn't understand what you're asking really, but we certainly are one club. 7 teams now.
Yeah.
We have 7 teams. We have 4 men's teams, and we have 6 teams affiliated with Premier Cricket, 4 men, 2 women, and this is the exciting part, and it's just something that it's volunteer charge. That's the thing that I like about it. Okay, it's people who have had a vision at different periods of time. And the vision may have been 20 years ago, in 2008, to have those practice wickets. The vision now from a person called Sarah Pike, who is now vice president of our cricket club, Sarah, who had a vision. And we've been lucky to have people at various stages along the line that have had a vision. Not only have they had the vision, they've had the ability to implement.
And she's lived that vision too by coming down from the country to Geelong, as many of the other players, right?
You are right. And this now is the flag. She's the flagship. And now the gate's right open.
David, I think the context of Neil's question before about Geelong's isolation being a disadvantage, but what it is now clearly done, and we've seen it with 3 current players who, one is the captain of the Australian T20 team, Brodie Couch playing in the Victorian 50-over squad, and Tommy Jackson from Warrnambool. So those 3 have come out of the Western District, and I think the girls are now proving that the Geelong Cricket Club provides the gateway, if you like, to that pathway, whereas they would be perhaps reluctant to go into the centre of Melbourne. Geelong is being regional, gives you a huge advantage.
Yes, yeah. I'm sorry, Neil. Yes, yeah, certainly, yeah. No, it certainly now is open, and there's no barrier now. There's no reason why the girl from Charlton can't, come through the pathway now or feel comfortable. And I think the parents who were there saw what the club will provide for their daughters, in respect to, we've got a quality coaching program for the women. Absolutely outstanding. We've got a fellow at the Lighthouse in Dunkeld, Stephen Field, who for many, many years was a Cricket Victoria regional manager. The way he spoke and the values that he's bringing, with that women's group is just fantastic. So it's like there's still going to be a lot of travel. There is no doubt about that. But they have worked out a program, a training program, which some nights it'll be in Ballarat, some nights it'll be at Rokewood, some nights it'll be at Hamilton. And it's just and the guys, the head coach is coaching the coaches to ensure that the same message wherever they are. If they're in Mount Gambier, there is a girl from Mount Gambier. Mount Gambier is 1 hour west of Casterton. And,
I wondered how you were going to get Casterton in, Dave.
There's apparently some really good cricket stock from Casterton, I understand, that Rob told me before.
Oh, dear me.
Oh, it's just great.
David, I want to talk to you about vision. You mentioned Sarah Pike's vision, and it's been we've sort of worked our way through it. But I want to go back to 3 things that at the time I thought, oh, really? That's aiming a bit high. One was pathway to the baggy green. We were celebrating the names of Redpath and Conley and Sheehan and Phillips at Geelong, and you're saying, we'll produce another one. Yeah, righto, Dave, that'll be right. Aaron Finch has done that, and we know we've got more on the cusp. The other one was the international level cricket facility, which is now called the David Kelly Practice Centre, which is very aptly named. Again, I thought, what on earth are you talking about, David? That's ridiculous. And then 6 years ago, you and I had a conversation about growing women's cricket in Geelong, and I thought, that'll never happen. That'll never turn into anything. I've seen some good girls cricketers, but they'll go up to Melbourne. That'll never happen here. All three of them have happened, and they've happened a long way out from when you first planted the idea in mine and other people's heads. That's why I thought you'd be a good person to have on, because I was looking at you on Thursday night, and all these three things have culminated in supporting the next vision, if you like, the next step. And it all unfolded on Thursday night, and just to see the grin on your face was a bit special. But again, you've mentioned some other names. Philip Marshall was the only person I know who's been awarded life membership at the same club twice, which is a fair effort of the time and effort he's put on. But there's a lot of others that have been on the journey with you, David.
Oh, look, it's been a fantastic group that have shared the vision. First, you can have it, but if you're the only one with it, it'll go nowhere. But you get a group around, and you've got Don Royce, goodness me.
Yeah, there's another good one.
OAM. You've got Philip from 1969, Assistant Secretary of the Cricket Club in 1969, still there, okay, contributing. And then we had a person called Teresa Best come on board. When we did those practice wickets, okay, we found the project manager ourselves. We managed it ourselves. We had to pay for a permit, would you believe, a council permit to build it. How annoyed was I at that time when there was a permit for 460.
I do remember that. You could have had a go on our long run on that day, I remember.
I tell you what, yeah. But anyway, it turned out to be the best thing, because at the end of the day, we have the key to the practice wickets, the cricket club. And the highlight of building those and having the 4 living baggy greens at the time to come down and open those wickets over a weekend of a Saturday dinner and the Sunday opening, it was just fantastic, okay? And it's but it's about good people, that you get around, but you need a group that share the vision, and that certainly helps, and then you need to sell it. And it was very difficult initially. I saw practice wickets in 2002 or 3 up at in Cairns, when there was a first test match, Australia playing Bangladesh, I think. I was up there as a guest of Cricket Victoria's chair at the time, Bob Merriman, and I went walking around, as you do, sniff around and see what's here that we can build on. And they had practice wickets that weren't as secure as the ones that we have, but I came back and said to myself, because we were running downhill off the southern end of, towards the southern end of the St Mary's footy ground, initially that's where the practice wickets were. And it was downhill, it was everything that it shouldn't have been for Premier Cricket. And when we started off saying, if you want to be the best, recognise as being the best, you've got to have the best of whatever. And so we needed, those practice wickets. And to sell it at our lunches on those great Saturdays that we had home, first 11 games, and we would have quite a few in for lunch, selling that we had to raise 330,000. Okay, we've got a membership of 42 or something, Well, people came on board. They said, how are you going to do it, Kel? I said, see those 3 window panes there, right? We've just got that's 110 in that one, 110, 110 in that other one. I said, it'll build up, don't you worry.
And it did indeed.
Yeah.
David, the other thing I want to talk to you...
Yeah, $550,000 later, when the first ball was bowled, the cricket club did not have a bill.
No, it was one of the most sensational feats of administration I've seen, driven by a dream. I want to talk to you about something else that was shone out on Thursday night around all the other good stuff. We talked briefly with Josh Barnes about the culture of the New Zealand cricket team that has them fighting well above their weight division in a World Cup final for the second time in a row, both 50 over and 2020 stuff. They're the test match champions of the world as well. I looked around the room the other night. Not only was there this new fresh-faced group and new old administrators, but there's also Travis Agg and Bluey Muller, ex-players on the coaching committee. Daniel Fanning's back as 4th 11 captain. Mark Carson, Trent Wallery's are joint coaches. Clinton Peake, club legend's son, is now in the squad. There's that connection that carries that culture on, and that must be another really important and pleasing part for your life and times at the GCC?
The club is on the end of the diving board of a new era. That's a very important component of it. The people that you just mentioned, each one of those. 4 of those are life members of the club, okay? And the other part of this era is that being the lighthouse, we now have great lighthouse keepers because we have the most energised, maybe the youngest committee that we've ever had. We have a committee, I would think, of 35-year-olds to 45-year-olds. Okay, they've all been associated in clubs. They've all brought their abilities and skills here. And I've never seen a more energised group of people who are all on the same page and are all contributors. That's exciting. So we've got these people coming back contributing in the coaching roles. We now have this a committee that's made up of people that haven't been a part of the club initially. Some of those people weren't a part of the club. Sarah's new to the club. The secretary, Jenny's new to the club.
And those couple of freeloaders that wandered down the highway from Melbourne...
John Fitzgibbons, Smacker Fitzgibbons.
Smacker's a ripper. So those fellas, and they've made the pathway to get the coach Nick speak here as well. So all those little things, that's the build it and they will come, Cal.
Oh, well, that's right. And John Fitzgibbons has just come at the most appropriate time because he's got his own construction business. So, out at Avalon, I think he's out there, but he's got his own business out there. But remember, we've got Stage 5. We're a part of Stage 5 of the stadium. Okay, and here I am going to meetings and learning a new language of scope ladders and scope of work and whatever. Okay, left-handed and lip, and here I'm learning this stuff. Corrugated iron's the biggest word I knew. But anyway.
Rob's looking puzzled when you said corrugated iron. He's never heard of that in his born days. Hey, David, I tell you what though, I'm relatively new to Geelong. I've only been here 6 years, and I like my cricket, but I don't get as involved as Rob and yourself, obviously. But I tell you what, the other night there was a moment that I caught on the TV, and I don't know whether you saw it or not, and it was a really significant moment it was the West Indies game, I think, against the Australians, and they just won the game. And there on the TV for a moment was the captain of Australia and the assistant coach of Australia embracing. And I thought to myself, that underlines what the Geelong Cricket Club's aiming to do. Andrew McDonald, Aaron Finch, both very likely to be having a cold drink in the bar at the Geelong Cricket Club at some stage very soon.
Oh, yes, and we certainly hope so, yes. And,
we'd like both on the show, by the way.
Yeah, 2 locals, so to speak.
Yeah, and it was just
absolutely.
It was just a great moment for Geelong cricket, even though 99% of the people who were watching wouldn't have understood the significance of it. It was really quite pertinent, I thought.
Yeah, no, you're right, absolutely. And certainly they'll both be contributors at the time when it suits, I'm sure.
That's good.
To further enhance, and they should be great advocates for our club wherever they go now even, okay? And that's what you rely on. You rely on people who come to your club, and as soon as they leave, they become an advocate. They see something good about this club, okay? And that's what you rely on with whatever you build and whatever you're doing. And it's about embracing people as soon as they get there. There are a number of people that the life members would have gone across because they didn't know them, but the people who know what to do go over and say, look, is there anything I can show you? Or come over and I'll show you this, or I'll do that with you. They go away with a good feel about themselves because, we have to be the best at what we do, and we need advocates.
Yeah, definitely. And another thing I want to mention too, a bit of a favourite of mine along a similar theme, Jenny Decker, the club secretary at the moment, who we haven't named but should, come along to watch her daughter play cricket at Geelong, giving her daughter the best opportunity to follow that pathway to the baggy green and once again put a hand up, can I do something? Well, she's now a very popular, active and highly skilled secretary of the club. So again, that's that experience you talk about of coming in, getting involved in what's going on and then thinking you just can't help but want to make a contribution to it. So there's another good story as well. So we commend her.
Like Jenny's a big story. She's selfless. She just takes on so much, and she's doing so much at the moment. She's the secretary. She's the admin manager. She is whatever you need her to be. Okay, and this is the first time in my time of going to cricket meetings that I have the minutes on my email at home after the meeting. Like the minutes nearly beat me home. Well, they do beat me home. It is amazing, absolutely.
Back in the old days, minutes were quite often verbalised because, I forgot I left the report at home. Oh, sorry about that. But I remember Bill Smith said something.
You get it the night of the meeting.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cal, thank you very much for your time. I thought it was really relevant. We were looking for our 10 o'clock special guest, but as I said, as soon as I saw your head beaming the other night, I knew you were it. Thanks for your time. Congratulations on your contribution to this juggernaut that it is. And I know that you still sit in the background offering some very, very important mentoring and guidance. And that's all about, I suppose, making the future is about not forgetting your past. And you're certainly a big contributor to the former and to the latter, and a big part of the former. So good luck again. And thank you for your contribution. And more importantly, thank you for your 15 or 20 minutes this morning.
Oh, thank you, Jeff. Yeah, look, I've really enjoyed it. Can I just say one thing at the end of it? There should be a baggy green for off-field performance also. I think Bob Merriman should be regarded as a baggy green person.
Yeah, he's very popular and well-known around. He's got lots of funny stories attached to him, but he's no doubt made a major contribution.
Oh, and chaired Cricket Australia, okay, like he had 2 terms.
Yep.
That's kind of captaining the admin, isn't it?
That's captain of admin, yep.
That's the way he should be a baggy green.
But unlike you, Cal, he could actually play as well.
Now listen, he can't play. That's what my kids say. Dad was a great, he played 105 games. Oh, yeah, was he a batter? But no, he's a good administrator.
I'm one of those guys that played more games than made runs.
Well, Jason Becker's dad took more catches than he made runs, and he only took 3 catches.
It can happen. Cal, thank you very much. Good luck. We hope to have a chat to you another day.
It's always good to talk with you. Cheers.
Thanks,
Bye.
mate.